Got it.
Okay, this is the August 25th Policy Committee meeting. I'm gonna call it to order. Roll call, Daniel Bailey,
Here.
Tamika Vukovic is here. Motion to approve the agenda I have made.
I'll second.
Motion by Tobika, second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes 2-0. 2A, we're talking about WASB policy update. There's really no update. They are working on giving us their work product by August 31st, which will give us until September 10th to read, go over, ask questions. What I really will like to emphasize is that once, and we'll put this in writing when we send everything out, is that I want to make sure that everybody reads it kind of beforehand, because if we have any legal questions or anything that is a legality type thing, I want to make sure that we send an email to Dan Vliet, because he can be at that meeting. He just said, let's see if we have a bunch of questions that he needs to be there. If he can just write them and email them, then he can send them off and he doesn't need to be there, but just for safety reasons, like.
Okay.
You could, the other option too is asking Bob Butler, because he's working with WASB on this, so that would be probably part of our cost.
Go
If we
check.
ask
It
him.
is if it isn't, but.
Just another lawyer option since he's working on it.
Right, but if it's part of our cost, love it. We won't need Dan, but if it's not part of our lawyer cost, I'd rather pay my own damn lawyer because he knows, oops, recording. So that's that.
Okay.
Let's see. So that is the only update for the WASB. Let's go to Equity Committee. Now, I got one proposal today and the other one called me. She had a death in the family. And she said she is about 85 to 90% finished with her proposal. I told her to just hold off until, because family comes first. So give it to me by Monday. I will send you want them both at the same time. It's only a few pages. This first one is only a few pages. Do you want this one now or both at the same time, Danielle?
You can send it now just so I can find time to look it over.
Okay, so the first one I will send over to you, and let me see. This first one is the company is called Inspired by Roberts. And the second company, I don't know what she calls her, LLC, so I'll just wait for that, but I will send this over to you. And then once we have both of them, I'll make sure that everybody in the committee or everybody on the board gets at least a look at this.
Sure.
How do you want it through email or, I'll send it through email.
Email's fine.
After I said that and text it to you anyway.
I'll take it.
But then we'll make sure that Allison, you get it, and then you can send it out I want to actually try to see if we can send it out as an extra to the board update.
Yep.
Because I don't know when they have their vote, which I probably will not be in, but
Tuesday morning, right?
yeah. In regards to the equity board also, now, Carla, I just mentioned that what I wanted to do, and I talked to you a little bit about this. I just want to make sure it happens in our board meeting, but I'm gonna make a recommendation to the board from here to appoint you to the, or for the next meeting, to appoint you to the equity committee. I will be stepping off the equity committee, so you guys will co-chair this committee. And because last time this is under the policy, and I don't think it looks good that both the chair of the equity committee is also the chair of the policy. I mean, and both of the same people are in the policy where there was Ben before. So it was a different perspectives. Like, even if I came with something, I was on policy, but Ben was on it with me, and then Danielle and I worked together. But right now, Danielle and I are both on policy and on equity. And I think if I pull myself off and put you on, there will be some kind of
Checks and balances.
checks and balances.
Mhm.
Yeah. Danielle,
Yeah,
what do you want to say about that? Do we want to, I guess what, this is just discussion type things, but
yeah.
do we want to, we will have those proposals by Monday, and you guys can vote on Tuesday. But one of the things that Danielle and I had spoke about in just conversation, that do we still want to try to bring all the people together first to just have an initial conversation, but before the consultants even come in?
Yeah, I've
You mean-
been thinking of, oh, sorry, go ahead, Allison.
No, that's Carla. Do you mean all
sorry.
the people who expressed an interest in being on the committee?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and sort of reopening it up. I've been thinking about this, trying to flesh it out. I feel like the idea would be to, for sure, have like a date on the calendar, probably end of September, to say, this will be, we can figure out the name, but I think of it as like an informational meeting to a degree, where it's like, we review the survey recommendations. It could be a dialogue. If we have a facilitator at that point, great. And then they can facilitate and talk a little bit more broadly about equity and goals, and possibly talk about our survey, talk about goals for the committee. And then at the end of that, I think we would take, reconfirm interest and either take new applications, or if you've already given information, that'd be great. And also kind of use that as our first community mapping experience. Like, if people are interested in equity and they're coming to that informational or like that initial dialogue, then we could use that to sort of start creating that thing that Dr. Robert Smith talked about at our last equity meeting, or and start kind of tracking like our resources and our expertise and our skills, so that even if those people don't end up on the equity committee, because something else Tamika and I had talked about, and I've talked about this with Carla now too, is about, we want to ensure, hopefully with the facilitator or consultant, that the committee is representative of our community in terms of, ability, race, gender, experience, background, all of that, all of that. So those were some of the things we'd kind of talked about. So I think that it would still be a good idea to just get a date and plan to meet, even if we don't have a facilitator at that point, and just to sort of get the ball rolling.
And I'm willing to, right now, I honestly don't think that we are going to have much to talk about in policy next month, because we are doing the policy work on September 10th. So we could actually use our policy meeting.
Yeah, well, we might have policies that need further work, right? Possibly.
Yeah, but that's gonna be throughout the course.
Okay.
I mean, so it's stuff that we can work on, but we're not gonna go into a policy meeting trying to work on every single thing that we don't get through, because literally I'm going to try to get through everything.
Okay,
But
no,
we
that's a great
also-
idea.
Yeah. So, wait, let's see here. So I'm looking at our September meeting would be September 29th.
Oh, I'll be in Boston for Ever's surgery, although his surgery is on the 26th. Wait, 27, 28, 29. Actually, I might be able to make it.
No, but this
No,
is
no,
Zoom
no,
number
no.
one.
No, I think
We're not doing this on Zoom.
It'd be in person.
Right, that's
So-
what I'm
so-
saying. I still rather, if we move it up to, what about the
It's-
22nd? Do we have anything that goes on the 22nd?
I could do the 26th.
You gotta unmute if you want to speak with us, Miss
Sorry,
Alice.
I was looking at my calendar. Policy is the 22nd.
Oh, it is
great,
the 20. Oh, I was looking at the last one. Okay.
great.
Yep, so that's perfect.
That
Okay.
is perfect.
Oh, it's 5 Thursdays in September. Okay.
Yep.
I just
yep.
looked at the last Thursday and said,
Is that- Does that work for you, Carla?
because this is gonna be
Think so.
you and Carla then now, to a
Right.
point. Obviously I'll be.
I have
part
a
of the
feeling you'll
committee.
be there.
Huh?
I said, I have a feeling you'll be there.
Oh, no, I might not like any of y'all after yesterday, so.
We'll see, we'll see. Yeah,
Carla,
9:20.
smile. Carla's so intensely looking at something she is.
I'm looking
that
at my
work for you?
calendar.
Okay,
The
Carla-
22nd at like
Mhm.
6 p.m.-ish. Is that what
Yep.
you guys are thinking?
Yep,
yep.
yeah.
It's on my calendar, right below Anthony Mancation. Anthony's somewhere in Tennessee on a mancation with his college boyfriends.
Oh, that's nice.
That,
That's nice.
this is being recorded and it's going on YouTube, so. May not get you saying that he's got boyfriends all over YouTube.
All his friends who are boys,
There you
Wait,
go.
Allison, do you have a
our
question?
friends.
Well, yeah, as I will acknowledge it, you guys have gotta stop. Yes,
Sorry.
Allison.
So this is backtracking a little bit. So you're gonna get the second policy or the proposal by Monday. So for Tuesday morning, will you and Danielle and potentially Carla have a recommendation for the rest of the board on which one you want us to vote yes on?
That's not what we're asking you, and that is not what the question is.
That's why I have a
We
question.
want you to, the board to allow the policy committee to choose who
Okay,
the person
it.
is under,
Got it.
long as it is under $15,000, which I have talked to
Got it.
Anvleet and 2 others. So it has been done. It is precedent. It's just like you giving you the authority. You can give an authority to a committee
Got it.
to do it. We're just not, we have already approved the 15,000 for the budget.
Got it.
So
Uh-oh.
that is what the motion is.
So
So, to
the
me-
motion is to
oh,
give the policy committee the authority to choose the consultant as long as it's under $15,000.
Exactly.
But if
To me,
if you already have the consultant that you're going to want to choose by Tuesday morning, why not take the easier path and
Because
just
we have to, we
decide.
have to have a meeting to do. We're not having a meeting between the policy committee. We just are getting these policies. And we haven't even asked them questions or interviewed them in our meeting. We were supposed to do that
To gather
today.
more information.
Right.
To decide.
So it's not just we're gonna pick something off their page. We want to actually have a meeting, a policy meeting, where we interview both those people, ask them questions. And get to the point where, and that's where I was wanting to go with this. But, and
That
then
makes sense.
schedule a second policy meeting.
so, sorry, I have a question. So I'm curious. So if Dan said there's precedent for this, is there precedent then, I wonder, for a committee to just like, this is a singular decision. So is there precedent to say the committee has the power to spend the already allotted budget, or Dan is saying the committee has the power to make choices like a more specific singular choice? Does that make sense?
It's both, he said, because this is the board. So from what I understand, is the
Mhm.
board has made a decision. We've already approved the budget of it.
Mm-hmm.
The consultants is not technically Allison we have, like, if we say that we're gonna hire a consultant, Allison has brought consultants to us. And sometimes she can hire whoever she wants to just out of the blue because it's already in the budget.
Mm-hmm.
So now what I'm asking is that this $15,000 is in a budget. That the policy committee can take whomever, I don't know which one is right, that we feel fit to take onto this work.
Okay.
And that'll include what they want to be, as long as it's under $15,000. And
Okay.
that is what will be done.
So Carla, I don't want to, Carla and I were sort of talking a little bit, and I'm curious about this. We talked about Allison's sort of budgetary powers to approve consultants. And is it okay, Carla? So one of the thoughts was, is there a way to just utilize Allison's power in conjunction with the equity committee to say, like, we are working in collaboration with the superintendent, or the superintendent is the head of the ad hoc, whatever, equity committee? Is there some way to sort of sidestep all the bureaucracy that we find ourselves embroiled in, of having to go back and
But
forth
I
and
think you're
manage the
doing that right
timing?
now. There's no other bureaucracy except for doing this vote and the policy
have-
committee figuring it
okay.
out. That it's done and it's precedent for years. We don't look at every single contract that she signs.
Yeah, no, I
We're just
understand, Tamika.
wait, let me finish. So instead of just giving the assignment to Allison, because right now we would still have to vote to give it to Allison. So instead of going in from Allison to us and having it come back, that's why I'm trying to vote and say the policy committee will look at this, we will investigate, we will figure out, interview, and then we will pick somebody.
Right. Okay. I think maybe we're missing each other. But my question is then, if we get this approval from the board for this authority for the consultant, if we have other expenditures, do we have to keep going back to the board to ask for the authority
If it's
to
over,
use the money?
if it's over $15,000, yes. If it's
Okay, so
under
if we
$15,000, no.
So
okay.
I would prefer to see it done in a more traditional, what I perceive as a traditional way of what I've observed, which is that the policy committee, or the equity committee in this case, because this is the equity consultant.
It can't be the equity committee because it's
Would
only
make-
an ad hoc.
Right,
It's
but
an
in a
ad hoc committee.
policy meeting, the equity committee, which is supposed to be the group that's looking at this, would make the recommendation to the superintendent for who they want to hire, and then the superintendent can just do it, right? You don't need the board's approval then. Just like we do with a lot of stuff in these committees.
This
Make
is not the
recommendations
case
to
because-
Allison, do it this way or do it that way, or we want to see
Well-
this. And she's like, okay. And she either does it or doesn't do it, right?
We don't have
the
to
case this time.
Yeah, I
We
think
already have
maybe the only difference is it's not like spending. Do you know what I mean? Like the committee might give me recommendations, like, can you go get this information? Can you implement blah, blah, blah? But
Yeah.
I'm not going and buying something based on that. I don't know if that's the
Well, maybe
difference.
it's just a conversation with like Bob Butler. Also, we have a plan.
Why are we
Which now-
asking
which-
Bob Butler when I asked our
Because-
attorney?
No,
I
I'm
asked our
sorry. Because
attorney already.
I
think she
wanna-
meant that.
I'm just
Let
trying
me-
to, I want to improve my governance knowledge around committees and ad hoc committees. And I do believe you, but I'm clearly still slightly confused. So it'll just be me educating myself, which is
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
Hold
I
on a
think
minute.
there's
I'm gonna ask for a recess. I'm gonna put us on pause and ask for a recess. Can I have a move
I have a-
because I want to put Dan Valid on this so he
No,
can.
no,
answer your question.
Tamika, I believe you. And also I have a kind of a hard stop at 6:30. So it's not something that we need to hash out right now. We have a plan and I don't want to get sidetracked. It was just a thought I was asking about. So
I do have one question though, Tamika. Would it make sense for what we're voting for Tuesday to be more broad? So it's not just to give the policy committee authority to choose a consultant, but to give the policy committee authority to determine how they allocate their budget?
I was trying to not to do that because that
Oh,
is one of
okay.
the other things that they would have another reason to have to go back. I'm just trying to.
Oh,
pick
okay. I was trying to make
a-
it more
I don't-
broad so
Right,
that we could
But
keep
it
going.
just seems like this is just.
no, I don't. No, Tamika,
wanted
that
to
would
make
give
it
us more
easier.
power. That's
Yeah, I
what
wanted
I'm-
to make
that's
it
what
But
I'm-
it's not going, it might give us more power, but I am trying to make this transparent. So all we were doing,
Mhm.
I don't want the power. All I wanted to do was pick a person to start the work. It can go back to the board. But again, like I got so frustrated yesterday, this is the 8th time that we are trying to move this forward and we're nitpicking something that
No,
doesn't even
I'm-
really
Tamika,
matter.
your answer isn't the only answer. We're having a discussion.
It is
There are
the
other
only
possible
answer
ways
when
to
this
get it
is
done.
wait, let me explain. This is the only answer when it is clear cut. It is within the rules that we can do this. You either say yes or no. We can't even get a vote on it. If you
No, no.
say yes, great. If you say no,
Yeah.
great. But we keep talking about it and bringing it back and bringing it back. That is where I get frustrated, because if you say no, then we'll put it on the next agenda for September and
Okay,
call it a
well,
day.
Tamika, we could have voted yesterday, but you moved to table the discussion. I would have motioned
Because
to
he was
vote
going
on
to
this.
table it anyway. We weren't going to
But
vote on it.
I don't know that
Andy said
okay,
that
well,
he
I
wasn't
don't
going to
know.
vote on it.
Well,
And
you
I
don't have to.
apologize.
There's
I
still
was
other
trying to make it
people.
easier. I was trying to make it easier. Like, can we broaden it so they don't have to keep doing this?
That's what I
It's
hear
a
her
good
saying.
idea. It's a good idea.
But
Because
No.
Tamika, if you ask them to give us authority for a very singular choice, then any other choices we make, we still have to go back and get them. We still have to go
Okay,
back and ask
well,
for authority.
you'll hear this discussion again with Andy and Ben.
Is this why you think they won't approve it? And so that's why you're trying to
exactly,
make
and
it
I
more
won't be at
narrow?
that- And I won't be at that meeting. So
Well,
what
that's
it
a
probably will
different-
happen is
Yeah,
go
that's a
2 to
different
0.
perspective. Yeah, that's a different
Yeah,
reason.
that's different. I wasn't thinking about how folks might vote on it. I was just thinking it would pass and it would make things easier.
Yeah, me too.
So that's different, and that's different. And again, I think everything is in motion. I'm okay with doing it as it is and voting on Tuesday so we can continue to move forward. But I still think this broader question of how an ad hoc committee operates under a committee, what their authority is when they have a budget, is
But
something
the
I just
ad
want to
hoc committee
understand
has
more.
no authority. It's under the committee, which is the policy committee. The ad hoc committee has no authority. What
Okay.
the board can do, and from what I understand, the board can always give authority to a committee, whether it's by spending or picking up any consultants, whatever, as long as the board approves that. Then that is the way it goes. It's not me thinking that I'm right. It is exactly what the policy says and what has been done in the past and what we can do.
Yeah, I just got confused when you were talking about what I thought you were saying that this thing we're asking on Tuesday was going to give us this broader authority, and I didn't understand that. So
I'm not even trying to
I'm
get
getting-
broader authority. I'm
Yep,
just
I get
trying to
it.
get
I know.
to
Yep.
get
First, got it.
consultants.
Okay.
And you can, at this point, if whatever the board decides to do it. This is literally 3 years. Conversations after conversations, losing consultants, bringing them back, going through this process again. When all of this is kind of, we're still at the same spot. We're still got the same 15,000. We want to do the work, but for some reason it keeps getting hooked up on. I just, if this would come through any other committee, I'd be like, if this came through like buildings and grounds or something, I would take, or whatever, I would take what the committee is saying, because I know they are doing the job that they need to do.
Yeah, but
They're gonna
you're
ask
talking to the wrong people because we're not the ones stalling the work. So I know that you're frustrated, but it's not like I'm with you on this. So I'm not, we need to be having these conversations with
Yeah.
other board members or figuring out how to
And it hasn't been 3
how
years
to get
for
them on
me.
board.
So I'll tell you my frustration. I'm trying to ask questions. I feel like I'm getting yelled at, but it hasn't been 3 years for me. I'm trying to understand the lay of the land. I wanted to do equity work, and I just want answers so I know what's happening.
What questions are you asking them?
About how this works, about how past practice has worked, about whether there might be solutions that could allow us to work around some of these challenges you're describing, not all of which I've observed or participated in.
And
Right? But yeah, last night I couldn't even ask the questions, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around this and understand it. But I'm not just going to be like pushed into a vote real fast on something, if I don't understand it. And I understand,
and Carla, I understand.
I'm right
that.
there with you, but I just, like Danielle, I just want to understand it. I want to understand how this works because it sets a precedent. And my understanding is that we haven't had in our school district in our time another ad hoc committee in this situation, right? It's kind of unique for our district. And so if this is going to set a precedent, I'm kind of scratching my head about like how this operates in the future, whether it's good or bad. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a way to streamline some of the work the board wants to do. I just want to understand.
So to that, to what you just said, you have every right to ask questions. The ad hoc committee has nothing to do with what we were doing last night or today right now. It has nothing to do with, we're not asking them for the authority. This is a policy committee, and the policy committee is a structured committee that is in our bylaws, that is there. So this is what we can do. Carla, you, because of the history, and this goes back for every single board member, sometimes you're going to be frustrated and you're just going to have to go with the flow. You can understand it.
No, I
Wait,
have a
let me
vote to
finish
make.
what I'm saying first. You're going to have to go with the flow as you learn, because you will never be able to understand every single decision or go back, and we're just going to have to teach and grow and learn. I did the same thing where I just had to trust the board member. When I came on, all the board members had been on there like 7, 10, 8 years. And I was the first one that came on in years. I asked a lot of questions. And sometimes I had to find that person that I trusted and say, now, can you explain that to me? They explained it to me, but I didn't understand everything at the time. You can't, because what you're trying to do is learn every single conversation that has happened in the last 3 years. You won't be able to do that. So all you can do is go with what the policy is. Trust board members that they actually have some of the institutional knowledge. Both Andy and I, because Andy and I don't agree either, but we see things differently. But yesterday, he had some institutional knowledge that I forgot about. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And let's go back and redo this.
So is there a written policy then that you're referring to about the ad hoc committee and stuff that I can look at?
Yeah, there's a policy about ad hoc committees, and there's a policy about committees generally that you can look at. You won't get them on the website, so you have to ask Karen for like a zip folder of all the policies.
I have the giant zip folder, so okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it talks about the power of a committee, the power of ad hoc committees. So you should be able to reference those. I really do. I'm going to push this, but I was trying to go.
I know.
Okay, thank you. Is there,
with that being
tangibles?
said, you guys will decide what the
vote is on
the
Tuesday?
motion will be on your meeting on the 30th.
Are you not going to be there?
I probably will not be there. I said I'll try, but
are we allowed to be in conversation? I can't remember. Like, are you allowed to pass on what your recommendation would be?
Yeah,
be shared.
You what
okay.
I think.
Okay.
So there's nothing to, I mean, this meeting didn't have any, it was just a discussion factor.
Okay.
We don't have anything to approve or vote on.
Okay, but we did say 922 would serve as like an equity committee meeting in lieu of policy. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And that's just a ballpark. We'll see if it works for everybody, because we want to make sure it works for everybody, but we're just saying this is right now the day we want to do it.
Okay.
And you guys are good with email? Do you want me to contact those people, or are you good with that?
Danielle, you seem to have a personal relationship with a lot of these people when it came to email?
Yeah, well, I have the spreadsheet too of anybody who indicated interest. So what I could do is I could draft a little blurb and just float it with the group to say, does this look right? Okay. Is that okay? And then
one other thing that I thought about is that this is 1 year old, and we have 4th grader parents coming in that may not have gotten this. Did it go district wise? I thought it stayed in mostly, but we have new district families, so maybe we send out a email talking about it and connecting it with that that survey that we did, Danielle, that questionnaire we did, putting it out again this year.
Okay, yeah, I think, yep, I think we
We
could do
might
it
have
again.
more people.
Once we confirm that, I think, are you saying you want to confirm a consultant could attend that or no? I think
No,
we're gonna
no,
do it
I'm just saying
regardless.
in general
Okay.
for right now, let's
Okay.
do it on the 29th, but we also need to,
22nd.
yeah, the 22nd. I don't know why I have 29th. The 22nd, and we
Okay.
want to see if, you remember the letter we originally sent out? with
Yeah,
the-
yep,
Let's try to send that out again to families, because we want as many families who want to participate, and especially after we had the consultants come in and a lot of families watched that that
Mhm.
school board meeting. And some
Yeah.
people, extra people said they were interested in doing this work. We might want to send it out again. Go ahead, Allison.
I was just gonna say maybe staff too, because you sent it to staff.
Yeah,
and they
right,
blocked it
right,
to staff. Yep.
I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, good point, good point. Okay, that sounds good. I'll get something and emailed to you all for like approval.
Okay, let
or
me go through the
feedback.
rest of this. Visitor to participation. Do we have anyone who would like to talk about a non-agenda item? Lindsay, Katie, Karen, Carla.
Nope.
Okay, can I have a motion to it? I move that we adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
All opposed? 0. Motion carries. You can stop the recording now, please.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a
Bye-bye.
good night.